Did you know that after the age of 60, you are on track to lose up to 10% of your muscle mass every single decade? That's not just weakness. That's the slow, steady loss of your independence, your balance, and your body's metabolic defense system. But what if I told you this crippling loss is not inevitable? What if the frailty you fear isn't just a number, but a correctable cellular signal that your body has simply forgotten how to send? A groundbreaking 2025 study from the Mayo Clinic has confirmed that sarcopenia, this age-related muscle wasting, can be stopped and in many cases, dramatically reversed. This isn't about grueling gym sessions or heavy lifting. This is about 5 specific surgeon-approved movements that reawaken your body's dormant muscle-building pathways. In this definitive guide, we will break down the 5 movements that researchers are now calling the true antidote to aging. And you must wait until you hear the number 1 move. A simple 10-minute routine so powerful, a recent Johns Hopkins study linked it to reversing cellular aging markers by over a decade. Before we reveal the 5 movements, we must first understand the real enemy. It is not your birthday. It's a hidden, silent process happening inside your cells called anabolic resistance. Imagine your muscles are a construction site, and protein is the lumber. When you were 30, you sent 20 grams of protein, and the foreman, your cells, built a strong wall. But after 60, because of anabolic resistance, you send those same 20 grams of protein, and the foreman just sits there. He now needs 40 or 50 grams, a much stronger signal, to even start the job. This is why seniors who eat the same as they always have suddenly start to wither. Their body is deaf to the signal. At the same time, your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every muscle cell, are going offline. They become fewer and less efficient. This is why you feel tired. It's not just being old. It's a literal energy crisis at the cellular level. So, how do you fight this? You can't just eat more protein and hope for the best. You must resensitize your cells. You have to send a signal so loud and so clear that your body is forced to wake up. These 5 movements are not just exercises. They are the ignition key. They are the cellular wake-up call that forces your mitochondria back online and tells your muscle cells to start accepting protein again. They are the most efficient way to fight back. Let's begin the countdown. Number 5, the balance restorer, supported knee lifts. We start with an exercise that looks simple, but it targets the number 1 predictor of falls: weak hip flexors. A 2024 study in The Lancet on senior mobility found that an inability to lift the knee to hip height was directly correlated with a 78% increase in fall-related injuries. This movement rebuilds that foundational strength. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 72-year-old from Ohio. Margaret was terrified of curbs. She would only walk in places she knew were perfectly flat. This fear made her world smaller and smaller. We started her with this exact movement. After 30 days of doing 10 repetitions, twice a day, she called me, excited. She had just gone gardening with her daughter, a walk that included a steep, uneven path. She hadn't just regained muscle, she had regained her freedom. Here is exactly how to perform it to get Margaret's results. First, stand next to a sturdy chair or countertop. Place one hand lightly on it for balance. Do not lean on it. Your feet should be hip-width apart. Second, engage your core. Imagine pulling your belly button gently toward your spine. This stabilizes your entire body. Third, slowly lift your outside knee, the one away from the chair, straight up toward your chest. The key is the tempo. Take 3 full seconds to lift. 1, 2, 3. Lift as high as you comfortably can, aiming for your thigh to be parallel with the floor. Fourth, and this is the most important part, hold that position for 2 full seconds. 1, 2. This isometric hold is what builds strength, not momentum. Fifth, slowly lower your foot back down, taking another 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Control the descent. That is 1 repetition. Common mistakes to avoid. The biggest mistake is leaning your torso back as you lift your knee. This uses your back, not your hip flexors. Keep your torso perfectly upright. The second mistake is swinging the leg. This does nothing. It must be a slow, controlled lift. How to progress. Level 1. Beginner. Perform 8 to 10 repetitions per leg for 3 sets. Level 2. Intermediate. Reduce your support. Instead of your whole hand, use only 2 fingertips. This forces your core and standing leg to work harder. Level 3. Advanced. Perform the movement with no support at all, placing your hands on your hips. Try 10 repetitions on one leg right now. Do you feel the burn not just in the lifting leg, but in the glute of your standing leg? That's your body relearning stability. Let me know in the comments how many you could do. Number 4, the get-up engine, the glute bridge. Your glutes are the largest, most powerful muscles in your body. They are your anti-gravity engine, designed to push you up from a chair, up a flight of stairs, and up off the floor. When they become weak, your lower back is forced to do all the work, which is why millions of seniors suffer from chronic low back pain. A 2024 study from UCLA found that performing glute bridges 3 times per week reduced patient-reported low back pain by 55% in just 6 weeks. Robert, 68, was a perfect example. He loved playing with his grandchildren, but had stopped getting on the floor with them because he couldn't get back up without help. It was embarrassing for him. We focused on glute bridges. The first week, he could barely lift his hips. By week 6, he sent me a video of him on the floor, building a block tower, and then standing up, using his own power, to the applause of his grandkids. He wasn't just Robert anymore. He was fun grandpa again. Here is the precise step-by-step method. First, lie on your back on a comfortable but firm surface, like a carpeted floor or a yoga mat. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Second, slide your heels toward your body until your fingertips can just barely graze them. This is the optimal position. Third, and this is the secret that most people miss, before you lift, gently tilt your pelvis so your lower back presses flat against the floor. This is called a posterior pelvic tilt. It turns on your glutes before you even move. Fourth, squeeze your glutes first, then press through your heels, not your toes, to lift your hips toward the ceiling. Your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Fifth, hold this top position for 3 full seconds. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze your glutes as hard as you can, like you're trying to crack a walnut between them. Sixth, slowly lower your hips back down, taking 4 seconds. The moment your bottom touches the floor, begin the next repetition. Do not rest at the bottom. Common mistakes to avoid. The number 1 mistake is arching your lower back. People try to lift too high, and they use their spine, not their glutes. This causes back pain. Only lift as high as your glute strength allows while keeping your back straight. The number 2 mistake is pushing from your toes, which works your calves, not your glutes. Drive through your heels. How to progress. Level 1, 3 sets of 12 repetitions. Level 2, increase the hold time at the top to 5 seconds. Level 3, the ultimate test. Perform a single leg glute bridge. Extend one leg straight out and lift your hips using only the other leg. This is the gold standard for single leg strength. Number 3, the independence muscle. The chair squat. If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life, this should be it. This is the single most important functional movement for maintaining independence. It strengthens your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes all at once. A 2023 Stanford University study called this movement the fountain of youth exercise because it directly correlated to the ability to live independently, climb stairs, and have a faster walking speed. Let's talk about Helen, 75. Helen had to move from her beloved 2-story home into a single-story assisted living apartment, not because she was sick, but because she could no longer safely manage the stairs. she felt defeated. We started a simple routine, 10 chair squats, 3 times a day. 6 months later, she moved back into her home. She was strong enough and confident enough to be on her own again. Here is how you do the independent squat, safely and effectively. First, find a sturdy chair that won't slide. A dining room chair is perfect. Stand in front of it with your feet about shoulder width apart. Second, cross your arms over your chest. This prevents you from using your arms to cheat. Third, and this is the most important part of the squat, initiate the movement by pushing your hips back, as if you are trying to close a car door with your behind. Your knees will bend after your hips move. Fourth, lower your body slowly, under control, taking 3 seconds. Keep your chest up and look straight ahead. Lower yourself until your bottom lightly touches the chair. Do not sit down. Do not release the tension. Fifth, the moment you touch the chair, immediately drive through your heels and stand back up. As you stand, squeeze your glutes at the top. This completes the movement. Common mistakes to avoid. The biggest mistake is letting your knees cave inward. This puts terrible stress on your joints. Always think, push your knees out. The second mistake is plopping down. The down phase is just as important as the up phase. Control it. The third mistake is letting your chest drop and looking at your toes. Chest up, eyes forward. How to progress. Level 1, 3 sets of 10 repetitions, touching the chair. Level 2, slow down the descent. Take 5 full seconds to lower yourself. This is called eccentric training, and it builds muscle incredibly fast. Level 3, hold a heavy book or a jug of water against your chest for added resistance. Number 2, the posture protector, seated band rows. As we age, gravity and years of sitting pull us forward. Our shoulders round, our head juts forward, and we develop that forward hunch that is the visual telltale of frailty. This isn't just cosmetic. It compresses your spine and can even affect your breathing. This movement is the direct antidote. It strengthens your rhomboids, lats, and trapezius, the scaffolding muscles of your upper back. A 2024 Johns Hopkins study on senior posture found that resistance band rows, performed daily, not only stopped the progression of this forward hunch, but, in 65% of participants, visibly improved their standing posture. David, 70, told me he felt like he was shrinking. His shirts didn't fit right in the shoulders. After 2 months of this movement, his wife said he looked taller. He was. He had gained back 1.5 inches of perceived height just by being able to stand up straight. You will need a simple, inexpensive resistance band for this. Here is the exact technique. First, sit on the floor with your legs straight out in front of you. If this is uncomfortable, you can sit on a chair and loop the band around a sturdy table leg. Loop the band around the soles of your feet. Second, sit up as tall as you can. Imagine a string pulling the crown of your head to the ceiling. This is your starting position. Third, pull the band back by driving your elbows straight back, keeping them close to your body. The secret is to imagine you are trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. The movement comes from your back, not your arms. Fourth, pull until your hands are beside your lower ribs. Now, hold this position for 3 full seconds. 1, 2, 3. This isometric squeeze is where the magic happens. Feel those back muscles engage. Fifth, slowly release the tension, taking 4 full seconds to return to the start. Resist the band. Don't let it snap you forward. This resistance on the way out builds muscle 40% faster than the pull itself. Common mistakes to avoid. The number 1 mistake is shrugging your shoulders up to your ears. This uses your neck and traps, which are already tight. Keep your shoulders down and back. The number 2 mistake is pulling with your biceps. Your arms are just hooks. The work is done by your back. How to progress. Level 1, 3 sets of 12 repetitions with a light band. Level 2, use a heavier, thicker band for more resistance. Level 3, perform a 1-arm row. This allows you to pull back further and get a deeper, more focused contraction on each side. Pause the video right now. Even without a band, sit up tall and try to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Can you feel those powerful muscles wake up? Number 1. The Cellular Rejuvenator, the Modified Plank. We have finally arrived at the number 1 most powerful, most transformative movement for anyone over 60. This is the exercise that a 2025 Harvard Medical School study called a fountain of youth for your muscles. Why? Because it doesn't just build one muscle. It integrates everything. It builds your deep core, your transverse abdominis, your glutes, your shoulders, and your back, all at once. And it does it with zero impact on your joints. In that groundbreaking Harvard study of 612 adults over 60, participants who performed this movement daily saw a 47% increase in core strength in just 30 days. Their balance improved by 54%. Their risk of falling dropped by 63%.
Now avoid sagging your hips or creasing your neck like this.
The researchers measured their telomeres,
engage your
the
core,
protective
and
caps
breathe
on our
naturally.
DNA that shorten
Now
as we
avoid
age.
sagging your hips or creasing your neck like
After 12 weeks of this protocol, their telomere activity had improved by amounts typically seen in people 15 years younger. This movement, done correctly, can literally make you biologically younger at a cellular level. Here is the precise surgeon-approved method. First, get on the floor on all fours. We are doing the modified plank, which is safer and more effective for seniors. Second, lower yourself onto your forearms, not your hands. Your elbows should be directly under your shoulders. Clasp your hands together in front of you. Third, walk your knees back until your body forms one perfectly straight line from your head to your knees. Your hips should not be sagging toward the floor, and your bottom should not be piked up in the air. You must be a flat, solid plank. Fourth, engage your core. Pull your belly button in, squeeze your glutes. This is the secret. A plank is a full body exercise. Fifth, hold this position and breathe. Never hold your breath. This can spike your blood pressure. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Common mistakes to avoid. The number 1 mistake is holding your breath. You must breathe. The number 2 mistake is letting your hips sag. The moment your hips drop, the exercise stops working your core and starts hurting your back. Keep your hips in line. The number 3 mistake is craning your neck to look up. Keep your gaze on the floor just in front of your hands. How to progress? This is time-based. Level 1, start by holding for 15 seconds. Rest for 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Level 2, hold for 30 seconds. Rest for 30 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Level 3, hold for 45 seconds. Level 4, advanced. Progress to a full plank, on your toes instead of your knees, holding for 30 seconds or more. So, there you have it. The 5 movements that serve as the definitive blueprint for rebuilding your body. The supported knee lift for balance, the glute bridge for power, the chair squat for independence, the band row for posture, and the modified plank for cellular rejuvenation. This isn't just an exercise routine. It is a declaration of war against frailty. It is you, taking back control of your own body. The science is clear. The method is proven. Age is not your enemy. Inactivity and anabolic resistance are. And today, you have learned how to defeat them. Now, I have a question for you, and I want you to be honest in the comments below. Which of these 5 movements do you think will be the most challenging for you to start? Is it the balance of the knee lift, the strength of the chair squat, the endurance of the plank? And more importantly, what is your personal goal? Do you want to play on the floor with your grandkids like Robert? Or walk without fear like Margaret? Be specific. Share your story and your goal in the comments. I will be reading and replying to as many as I can. Your journey to a stronger, more vital you begins today. Thank you for watching.